Hey there, horror fans. Welcome back to Silent Screams, where we bring your darkest nightmares to life. Tonight, we're diving into a tale that'll make you think twice about browsing Reddit before bed. So, grab your blankets, lock your doors, and let's begin. I never thought a simple click could change my life forever. It was just another sleepless night, scrolling through Reddit, looking for something to distract me from the emptiness of my apartment. That's when I stumbled upon a subreddit I'd never seen before, r/whispered nightmares. The title caught my eye immediately, the shadow that follows. I hesitated for a moment, my cursor hovering over the link. Something in my gut told me to close the app and go to sleep, but curiosity got the better of me. I clicked. The post was from a user named DarkWatcher89. It started innocently enough. I've always been a night owl, but lately, something's been keeping me up that isn't just insomnia. It started about a week ago. I was walking home from a late shift at work when I felt watched. I found myself leaning closer to the screen, my heart already beginning to race. At first, I brushed it off. Living in the city, you get used to being a little paranoid. But then I saw it, a shadow, darker than the night itself, moving in a way that shadows shouldn't. It was following me. A chill ran down my spine. I glanced at my own window, the curtains drawn tight against the night. For a moment, I could have sworn I saw them move. DarkWatcher89 continued, every night since then, it's been there. Waiting. Watching. I can feel its eyes on me even now as I type this. If anyone knows what this thing is or how to get rid of it, please help. I don't know how much longer I can. The post cut off abruptly. I scrolled down, desperate for more information, but there was nothing. Just comments from other users asking if DarkWatcher89 was okay, begging for an update. I don't know what possessed me to do it, but I found myself typing out a comment. Are you there, DarkWatcher89? What happened? I hit send and waited, refreshing the page every few seconds. 5 minutes passed. 10. I was about to give up when a notification popped up. A direct message. My hands shook as I opened it. The username wasn't DarkWatcher89. It was Shadow Seeker. You shouldn't have done that, the message read. Now it knows you're looking. What are you talking about? I typed back, my fingers trembling. Who are you? The reply came almost instantly, someone who made the same mistake you did. Whatever you do, don't look out your window. Of course, the moment I read those words, my eyes were drawn to the curtains. Had that shadow always been there, or was it new? Was it moving? What's happening? I messaged Shadow Seeker, panic rising in my throat. It's too late, came the reply. It's found you. Just like it found me. Just like it found DarkWatcher89. We're all connected now. A loud thump from somewhere in my apartment made me jump. It sounded like it came from the bedroom. What do I do? I typed frantically. Run. I didn't need to be told twice. I leapt from my chair, adrenaline coursing through my veins. But as I turned towards the door, I froze. There, in the hallway, was a shadow. Not my shadow. Not any normal shadow. This was darkness given form, with gleaming eyes that seemed to bore into my very soul. I blinked, and it was gone. But I could still feel its presence, like ice water trickling down my back. My phone buzzed. Another message from Shadow Seeker. Whatever you do, don't let it touch you. Keep moving. Find others. There's strength in numbers. I grabbed my keys and ran out of the apartment, not even bothering to lock the door behind me. As I sprinted down the stairs, I could hear something following me. Not footsteps, but a sound like rustling fabric, growing closer with each passing second. I burst out onto the street, the cool night air hitting my face. But the feeling of being watched didn't subside. If anything, it intensified. My phone buzzed again. I looked down, expecting another message from Shadow Seeker. Instead, it was a notification from Reddit. A new post in r/whispered nightmares. The title made my blood run cold, the Shadow's new prey. It was my username. I looked up from my phone, my eyes darting around the empty street. And that's when I saw them, shadows moving against the darkness, converging on my location. Dozens of them. Hundreds. Each with those same gleaming eyes. I ran. I ran like I've never run before. But I knew, deep down, that this was only the beginning. The shadows were everywhere now, and they were hungry. As I sprinted through the city, desperately seeking safety, one thought kept repeating in my mind: how many other unsuspecting Redditors had stumbled upon r/whispered nightmares? How many others were out there, running from the shadows? And more importantly, how long could we keep running? The city streets blurred around me as I ran, my lungs burning with each ragged breath. I couldn't shake the feeling that no matter how fast I moved, the shadows were always just a step behind. My phone buzzed incessantly in my pocket, but I didn't dare slow down to check it. I ducked into an alley, hoping to lose my pursuers. Big mistake. The narrow passage seemed to amplify the darkness, making the shadows more substantial, more real. I could hear them now, a sound like thousands of whispers overlapping, just on the edge of comprehension. A flickering streetlight at the end of the alley offered a glimmer of hope. I sprinted towards it, my feet pounding against the damp pavement. Just as I reached the light, it went out with a pop, plunging me into total darkness. I froze, my heart pounding so hard I thought it might burst from my chest. That's when I felt it, a cold, almost gelatinous touch on the back of my neck. I spun around, flailing wildly, but my hands passed through nothing but air. The whispers grew louder, more insistent. And suddenly, I could understand them. Join us, they hissed. Become one with the shadow. No, I screamed, stumbling backwards. I tripped over something, a trash can, maybe, and fell hard on the ground. My phone clattered out of my pocket, its screen lighting up with a new notification. Despite every instinct telling me not to, I grabbed it. It was another message from Shadow Seeker: find the light bringer. It's your only hope. Before I could process what that meant, a new voice cut through the whispers. It was deep, resonant, and somehow more terrifying than the shadows themselves. You cannot escape us, it boomed. We are ancient. We are legion. And now, you are ours. I scrambled to my feet, but the shadows were closing in. They seemed more solid now, taking on vaguely humanoid shapes with long, grasping fingers. I could feel their cold touch on my skin, seeping into my very being. In that moment of utter despair, I saw it, a symbol etched into the brick wall of the alley. It looked like a stylized sun, glowing faintly in the darkness. Without thinking, I pressed my hand against it. the world exploded into light. When my vision cleared, I found myself in a vast, circular room. Torches lined the walls, their flames burning with an unnatural blue light. In the center stood a figure in a white robe, their face obscured by a hood. "Welcome, Seeker," the figure said, their voice neither male nor female. "I am the Lightbringer." "What's happening?" I gasped, still trying to catch my breath. "What were those things?" The Lightbringer sighed, a sound filled with ancient weariness. "They are the Whisperers, fragments of a primordial darkness that has existed since the dawn of time. They feed on fear, on despair, on the darkest parts of the human soul." "And are whispered nightmares?" "A gateway," they explained. "The Whisperers have always sought ways to enter our world. In the digital age, they've found new methods. That subreddit is their latest attempt." I shuddered, remembering the cold touch of the shadows. "How do we stop them?" The Lightbringer's hood tilted slightly. "We don't. Not completely. Light and dark must always exist in balance. But we can fight back, push them into retreat." They held out their hand, and a small, smooth stone appeared in their palm. It glowed with the same blue light as the torches. "Take this," they said. "It will protect you from their touch and allow you to see them for what they truly are." As soon as my fingers closed around the stone, I felt a warmth spread through my body, chasing away the lingering cold of the shadows. "But what about the others?" I asked, thinking of Dark Watcher 89 and all the other Reddit users who might fall into the Whisperer's trap. "That," the Lightbringer said, "is where you come in. You've been marked by the shadows now. You can move between worlds, just as I can. It's time for you to become a Lightbringer yourself." The weight of their words settled on me like a physical thing. I wanted to protest, to say I wasn't cut out for this. But deep down, I knew I couldn't walk away. Not when I knew what was out there, lurking in the darkness. "What do I need to do?" I asked, my voice steadier than I felt. The Lightbringer placed a hand on my shoulder. "Return to your world. Use the stone to find those touched by the shadows. Guide them to the light. And above all, keep the balance." They raised their other hand, and the air in front of me shimmered, forming a portal back to the alley where this all began. "Remember," the Lightbringer said as I stepped towards the portal, "the shadows are strong, but light can always pierce the darkness. You are never alone." I took a deep breath and stepped through. The alley materialized around me, but it looked different now. I could see faint, glowing trails where the shadows had been remnants of their presence. My phone buzzed one last time. I looked down to see a final message from Shadow Seeker. "The torch has been passed. Good luck, new Lightbringer." I closed my eyes, feeling the power of the stone pulsing in my hand. When I opened them again, I saw the world with new clarity. The shadows were still out there, waiting. But now, I had the power to fight back. As I walked out of the alley and into the night, I knew my life would never be the same. The war between light and dark was far from over. But for the first time since this nightmare began, I felt something other than fear. I felt hope.